Oh, he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Metal Customs. Well, we're back on the 87 Trans Am project, and what Casey's doing right now, you see we have the latch hatch held up with some wood. He's trying to remove this rear deck. Now there's a metal plate over there that has 8 nuts holding it because there's studs coming through. 4 in the glass, 4 in the back deck piece. But Casey's doing now, in the corners from about here, roughly to about here, is that black, like what I call window silicone, and he's just being real careful trying to dig all of that out so that we can get this piece off, get everything cleaned up, and get it adjusted where it's supposed to be. If you didn't see the previous video on this car, you may want to check that out. You can see just how far off that piece was. I mean, it was hanging like that far off the rear of the car when it should have been flush. But while Casey's doing that, I'm going to sneak off into the paint booth because I've got the top of the hood to do. I need to lay more paint on that, let it sit, and see what that's going to look like. Hopefully get some clear on it today, as well as won't be today, maybe tomorrow. We'll get some more primer on that spoiler and see if we can get that thing to act right. But just hang out, check out what we're doing, and we'll get this old Trans Am back to rock and roll. Alright, Casey got that off of there. There was a whole line of that black sealer going across here. This tool is your friend. It worked out really well. And here's the lid. Y'all can see all of that black gooey gobby crap all over that thing, which we got to clean off and get some more black gooey gobby crap on it. But that's okay. This way, this thing will be right. Hopefully this will adjust that far and get up there where we want it. I did get the hood painted. If y'all would like a quick look at that, walk this way. There we go. We got one painted hood. Hopefully that dries and looks good because I'm out of paint. We're definitely going to have to get some more paint for that spoiler. But yeah, got, I had 2 coats on it before, and then these 2 fast coats here, so that should be plenty of paint for that hood. But we're going to let that thing sit and cure probably all day because the temperature, we had a little freeze thing come through Tennessee. Right now in the paint booth, it's just a little over 60 degrees. So yeah, that's going to have to do some curing, no doubt about that. But, all in all, things are going well. Alright guys, we're going to do a test fit on this thing.
Highway or what?
It's about the same gap on each side. This right here is solving our problem of our distance. It's just still, this is
That's got a warp in it.
this one's up high.
The track has a warp in it.
That metal track piece is what's holding it up. Let me show the camera guy. All right, guys. Well, we're doing good by taking that off, because that was it. It was on there improper. As you can see now, of course I can push it up just a shade more. We don't have that thing hanging over here 100 miles. Same way with that side. Now our issue is, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, okay? But this is gapped up really big. In case it says it's this rail back here, we're going to have to finally adjust it.
I prefer the term de-warp.
Yeah, we're going to have to de-warp that and get it set down a little bit more. All right, let me set the camera down and see if we can accomplish that. All right, guys, next we have this metal plate that we took down. Yeah, that ain't looking so great, so I'm going to hit that with the wire brush, throw some self-etching primer on it, and I've got some real good spray paint. We're going to get that thing cleaned up and painted before we reinstall it as well. Well, we got that panel clean, painted, and dry. That's why I set it right here in front of the heater. Yeah. Now, what Casey's doing, he's going to take the sealant. It ain't dried up, is it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, he's going to have to deal with that. But here's the plan. Of course, we got to run the sealant back around where it's supposed to be. And then I'll take the lid and I will set it on here and hold it into place while Casey climbs in the car and attaches everything from underneath. It's just enough room for him to get there and do that. And by doing it that way, I can make sure I hold it perfect on each side and get it lined up like it's supposed to be. Wish us luck. Alright, everything's tight. Now we're not sticking 20 miles past. Yes, I'm happy with that. The only thing I don't like is that side sticking up. But guys, everything's clean and everything's set where it's supposed to be. I don't know if there's some kind of warpage going on here or something like that. But I mean, it's one of them, it is what it is things. But we did get it all fixed up there. Do what?
I told you what that is.
What is that?
There's a rubber ring inside of the sill that's popping it up. It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be cushioning the actual window.
Oh, in case it says the seal is bad and that's what's pushing that up. Okay, well, that's easily fixed. Alright, cool, cool. Alright, the hatch is where it needs to be. We're going to let that silicone dry overnight before we put the struts on. But what we wanted to do, because I had to make the holder to put the spoiler on, is make sure it still fit. So Casey got the luxury of holding this up. How heavy is it, you think?
120.
Yeah, it's heavy. But anyway, while I fiddled around and I got the bolts started in the spoiler, I wanted to make sure everything's still lined up, because when we went to put this spoiler on, of course, it was sitting backwards. But yeah, we still got good connection here. Yeah, mine ain't popped out. Yours pop out? Nope. No, and they're not going to. But yeah, that worked out really well. Really don't care about the fit of the spoiler much. I mean, I care, that ain't what I'm saying. I don't care for how it fits. I'm not liking the spoiler. Nothing against the company or anything, just, you know, one of my things. Hopefully, this thing will get painted up good this time. I've had a lot of trouble with it. But it fits, and it fits proper. Everything looks good there, Case?
Yeah.
All right, well, cool. All right, well, we're going to take this back off, throw a spoiler in the paint booth, because I'm hoping tomorrow to get some primer on it.
And
But
possibly some paint.
we'll let this dry, let that silicone dry up, then tomorrow we can assemble everything else back here that needs to be done. Well, that all worked out just fine. We went ahead and put the motor assembly, got it adjusted where it's working fine. So that's all cool, got the plastic back in. Now we're going to put his subs back in. I want to show you a sub box. I don't know who made it, but you're talking about a perfect fit. This thing fits good, it looks good, and whoever done this, we just wanted to throw them some props and say y'all done a good job. It does fit the car very well. But let's get it dropped in, get all this stuff hooked up, and get all that buttoned up. Alright guys, so we're cooking right along. The hood, I got it wet sanded out and done a little bit of bumping, and I'm just going to tell you I wasn't happy with it. So what I've done, I brought it back in here. She's been resanded and cleaned. It's fixing to be cleaned again and tack ragged, and we're going to lay some more clear on this hood. I'd really like to get that really nice, slick, you know, high gloss shine to this thing. Yeah, it's a lot of extra work, but this is what you do when you want stuff to turn out correct. And this spoiler, like I say, I sanded it back down, 2 coats of the epoxy primer sealer, and then a coat of high build. I was hoping that would take care of some of them pinholes. Well, guess what? I got a nice one there. Yeah, that's funky. One there and one there. Now them just appeared. They weren't there before. But luckily it's on this side. Oh, and yeah, a little funky spot right there. This side here looks pretty good. But I've got this sanded down with 320. So what I'm going to do, I'm fixing to take me a break. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these 3 spots with the glazing and spot putty and let that sit, and then when I come back from break we'll get them sanded out and get this spoiler ready for another coat of primer. Got that spoiler ready for another coat of primer. Fixed all them little spots on the bottom that I showed y'all. I flip it up and fix some here on top as well. Hey, it is what it is, right? But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I did get this one over here. I had to go back and hit it twice. Yeah, there's a deep little spot there. But yeah, she's ready to rock. All I need to do is wipe her down, get her in the booth, get another coat of primer on her. Then we'll see what it looks like. Hopefully, she'll be ready for paint and clear. And speaking of clear, I just laid the last coat on the hood. Let's check it out. That's 4 more coats of clear on this hood. So this thing should buff out and look really good. At least it better. I've really been working my butt off on it. I fixed the spots that would knock the paint off of. Airbrush, man. A lot of coats with the airbrush, but it does a good job. You don't have to stress with it. But I mean, this right here, try to get a spot where the light's hitting the best I can. That clear turned out really good. Well, I'm digging it. Now, if it just cures, say today is Saturday, so this will sit here Sunday. It's supposed to be 80 tomorrow, and it's supposed to be warm again Monday. So Monday morning when I get out here, this should be 150% cured up. And hopefully, guys, it keeps its shine and it has no issues. Also got a couple coats of clear on this spot here. Man, I reckon the roof took the brunt of the year's sun, because that is not matching worth a crap with that paint. But I'm going to let this, of course, set and cure up over the weekend, try to buff it out. It won't be a perfect match, but it'll fix the majority of that bad spot. So, all in all, good stuff. Alright, got the hood out of the paint booth after she cured all weekend. And I gotta say, not looking too bad at all. We're fixing to take the buffer to it. I'm gonna start with the 3M rubbing compound. And then if that all turns out looking good, I'll finish it up with the 3M machine polish. And what else did we accomplish so far today? Yes. We got the primer on the spoiler. So we're going to let that sit here and bake, soak, whatever you want to call it, and cure. And then we'll get it out there, get a light sand on it and check it out. Hopefully the thing will be ready for paint and some clear. Alright, here's what we got so far. We got this hood buffed out. Went all the way down to using the micro machine polish. So Casey and I are going to give her a quick wash off here, and I think that will do it. If it looks good, we're ready to install the bird and get the rest of the hood assembled. Got the spoiler painted and cleared. So, it's looking good. See no problems, there's no runs, no malfunctions. So hopefully this will turn out fine with no problems this time. We're actually going to let it sit here overnight and cure before we get ready to install it. Yeah, cool. We're getting stuff done. Alright, well, we got that hood looking pretty good. Like I say, it ain't ready for a SEMA show, but for a basic street car, I'm really tickled with it. We put in a lot of time and effort on this thing. What we're doing now is, you see, we have tape, because we already measured the old bird before we took it all off, so we know where the new bird needs to go. Now we're fixing to apply this one, and the only issues we're having, I don't know if this is some old stock, maybe they sent this gentleman or something like that. But see how that bubbles right there? The outer skin? Yeah, that's going to make wrinkles. We're going to have to be real careful. We'll get a lot of them over there. Basically, quick rundown on how to do this. Wet the hood down with soapy water. Wet the back of the sticker with soapy water after you take the backing off. Then you start putting it into place and squeegee it out. We're going to do all of this on camera so y'all can follow along. But the thing about it is, this top layer, you see Casey's got pulled up right now, just looking at it, it does not peel until 3 hours after you have it all done.
You can see all 3 layers. This is protecting your sticky side, that little clear piece there is your vinyl, and then the protective layer on top.
There we go. Casey give you a good look at that. But I'm going to throw the camera on the bipod, crank up some jams, and we're going to do the bird thing. All right, guys, it's been roughly 3 hours. So we're going to crank up some jam, get this top off, see how the sticker turns out. Well, guys, there you have it. One bird. I'd say I don't like the fact that it's clear all over it. Let me get the camera close so y'all see what I'm talking about if you can't see it from there. Okay, you can see it real good here. See that line up there? That's the clear. And the clear doesn't come off in case you don't try to spot, the silver comes off with it. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you can really tell it around a little fire coming out of his mouth there. A little wrinkle mark. Well, like all decals, they will settle out in the sun a whole lot. But we ain't got no big air bubbles, do we, Casey? I don't really see anything bad. I mean,
I'm OCD about vinyl stuff.
I know, but I mean, our application process was spot on. We applied it correctly and done it correctly. If you get back here, it looks really good.
Should you say so?
But, guys, there it is. Like I say, I was unaware of that type of vinyl. I've never done one that still had the clear part that stayed on it. The clear always came off on the ones that I pulled with. Alright guys, well we're going to let this so-called cure overnight. Come back out in the morning and see what we got. Alright guys, what we're doing this morning is getting the hood set on. We've already got it set on and adjusted. Put our rubber seal back in case it's got all the latches there. So now, what he's trying to do, we got this hood pad stuff here, and he's trying to figure out, we're trying to figure out which way it goes. Get all the little holes as much as help. Alright, now Casey's going to put in these front grill inserts. You see they just slide in. These little tabs right here. Alright, then like we showed you in the other video when Casey took them out, you got them weird nuts that go in there, and they are a pain to get back in. But he's going to go ahead and do that. And the little ones that go here, we have one broken insert that I'm gluing right now. So after I get through gluing, we'll pop them into place. Alright, we just went through and installed our spoiler. Yeah, man. Yeah, it looks pretty good. They just wipe it down, get the third brake light installed in there. And it fit okay. Problem with the spoiler was it was a little different. And give a little bit of a big bit of a raise up on the back of it. And I tried to contour everything the best I could. That's one of them things I just couldn't do nothing about it. But all in all, she's looking good, guys. We're about to get this thing wrapped up and call the customer. I want to get it out in the sun for a while and see if that bird will settle down some with some sunshine on it. Still, I gotta say it, I don't like this sticker. It is what it is. Oh, in case you got that one popped in, yeah, that looks good. You got these front ones in there. Yeah, them turned out really good. We'll get a good wipe down. We'll wait for that other one. Glue's still drying and we'll get that one in. But yeah, she's coming right along. Alright, we had her parked out here in the sun for a while. trying to help that bird sticker. But we went ahead and give her another bath, as you can tell. Yeah, don't look bad at all. And yeah, that roof, we won't even look at that. But yeah, I mean, for the year, this car is in very good shape. I did try to do some buffing on it. That clear coat on that car is so thin that a man tried to do some aggressive buffing and get a big shine out of her, he's just going to ruin a paint job. But yeah, it looked good. Spoiler blends in pretty good. I mean, just the worst part of the car is this roof here. But I mean, that's how faded that roof is, especially over here. You can see the roughness in the roof. But that's where that clear is starting to separate. The same like here on top of the fender, as you can see. But yeah, not looking bad at all. Now what we're going to do, it's going to sit here and it's dried. We're going to pull it over in the shade. We're going to pull it in the where we're going to have the paint booth that's all shaded. And then we're going to go over it with this Meguiar's Mirror Glaze. This is the Pro Final Inspection. I like using this stuff. I just put it in a spray bottle. I use a little microfiber applicator pads and a couple of microfiber rags to wipe it off and buff it. And that right there, I mean, that's about all we can do to try to get some, you know, good shine back to this old paint. But this will also get our, like a light coat on our new paint too, which definitely won't hurt none at all. But let's pull it over in the shade, let it cool down a little bit, and then we'll start with this final inspection. We about got her. See this stuff here, guys? All you do, see Casey just sprayed it on. Take the applicator, sort of just rub it in there, and then just take a green wag and more or less polish it off. Sort of like a light wax in a way. That's about the way you treat it. Alright, well, let's get this thing finished up. And there we have it, y'all. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, at least my paint turned out awesome. I'm tickled with that. Say, I hate that bird didn't lay down as perfect as I would like for it to. Just definitely an old decal. And like I say, I just don't like the design. But we put the time in it, and we hand rubbed it after it been out in the sun some as well. So we tried to get it as perfect as it could be. The rest of the car, like I say, we used that final inspection on, and actually made it look pretty good. The roof, there's just no help for that roof, especially on that other side. The clear's coming off and just making it all funky. I mean, the rest of the car, and like I say, guys, you got to consider, this is an 87. This thing is fantastic for the year. Spoiler turned out looking really nice. Had a lot of trouble with that spoiler. And yeah, I think I've redone that spoiler, what, 3 times? There's a lot of primer on there. A lot of paint, a lot of clear. And for those of y'all paint experts that are looking at that finish, yes, that is just a finish. I did not water sand or buff on that. That finish turned out really nice, and as much trouble as I was having with the spoiler, I wasn't going to push my luck and cause any more damage or have to do a redo on that. But it turned out really nice. Like I say, the rest of the car looked good. Like I say, when I tried to buff on it, there's not enough here to really get a buff on this car, or I would have buffed it out for him. You can see right here, little spot right there. Yeah. And that was just barely the edge of the buffer hitting it. So the clear is super thin on this thing, and so is the paint. I hate the roof. Didn't turn out like I wanted it to. But I've redone that spot 3 times, so it ain't like I didn't try. Like I say, very, very nice car. At this point, I mean, basically the rest of the car needs painting is what it needs. But as far as an everyday driver, like I say, I think his son drives this to school and back. I wish I had something that nice to drive back and forth to school. Yeah, that is really, really a nice ride, and I'm tickled to be able to work on it. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the conclusion of the 87 Trans Am. I mean, I think we done it up right. We put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into this, trying to do what we can do to make it righteous. And this is one righteous ride. Well, again, hope y'all enjoyed that. Appreciate you watching. If you would, throw us down some comments. If you're able, hit us up on the super thanks below. And please like, share, and subscribe. Again, appreciate it much. Until the next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.